3.2 external projects, project 9, coming to conclusions. Case study number 1, Andrew Potter, machine knitter. I came across meeting Andrew through social media on Facebook. Since my textile practice and discipline has now become knitted textiles, this kind of pushed me forward to want to use a knitting machine. I'd had minor experience years ago with a knitting machine, and kind of quite liked the idea of problem solving, how to put the machine in, and actually producing or enjoying the process of something that started from start to finish. And I think this is kind of connects with my dyslexia very well, problem solving. So my case study supports my textile practice for the fact that I considered myself new to the world of knitting machines. Bought a vintage knitting machine, the Bond Classic, which then became a Bond Elite single bed knitting machine, and incurred a few problems mechanically. Found a Facebook group, and Andrew Potter kindly and has done since to help and support me with the knitting machines. So this has increased my knowledge and my experience, both mechanically and technically, because as we spoke more about the knitting machines, I discovered that he semi-leaves locally. So this enabled me to have 2 to 3 now one-to-one knitting sessions, which has developed or formed part of 3.2 external projects, a collaboration. Now this collaboration has become quite strong. Andrew's involvement is 100%, and his knowledge and his experience is just so valuable that has been able to support my studies and also my development further with my knitting, and really support the whole of my textile practice as a whole, to move my ideas forward and my development, especially with the theme of dyslexia, unstructured play, and asking the questions, what is play? So what this has enabled me to do is use the knitting machine to push design ideas forward through basic knowledge and the lessons from Andrew. And as part of this collaboration, he now engages frequently to ask how I'm getting on. He may set me a project, and then I'll go off, think about it, and include that within a project that I'm focusing on. That was apparent in project 8, where I focused on the sketchbook and design ideas, but the design ideas had come from the techniques that I'd used with both the Elite Bond and the Elite Classic single bed knitting machine. So Andrew's support has been fantastic. I haven't particularly gone into depth about the themes of my work, because it has been all about the knitting machine and the mechanical side of it, and getting to know and experience. So my case study kind of builds up an interest about Andrew, about his background, and how he became very knowledgeable with the machines. Part of the collaboration has also moved forward that we both kind of do a little bit of research. We might see something for sale within the Bond Classic or the Bond Elite, more so on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. So we'll kind of contact one another. Have you seen such and such, and the price of it, the condition of it. So this led on to me being able to purchase an original instruction book for the Elite, which the one that I purchased didn't come with. So I now have that at hand for any technical issues and basic knowledge, some of the stitches and so forth. And then this also, through Andrew's advice, I bought the Knitting Hints and Tips specifically for Bond knitting machines, which has vast knowledge and more in-depth techniques of what these single bed knitting machines can carry out. So these have been a good source of knowledge and also for research to develop my own personal knitting with any of the projects that I'm working on. So within my textile practice and within the OCA studies on my assignment work, more so projects 7, 8 and now moving into 9 with my knitting samples, he's been really supportive and I can ask him, you know, lots of questions and so forth, and I think this collaboration will continue and I think the collaboration will become stronger, and I hope to use the collaboration for 3.3 for my textile practice. So I've been learning a great deal and it's moved my experience of the knitting machine, and it's definitely moved my work technically, with developments of looking at design, looking at the concepts of how to use techniques and putting techniques together, and also as well it's now moving things forward as an area of how can I change my work by now looking at creative yarns with these simple techniques to make the work more sensitive, still continuing with the theme of dyslexia, unstructured play, and also asking questions, what is play? But the interesting key points to using Andrew as a candidate for a case study is Andrew, even though he has the creative ability to use the knitting machine, he's also very academic with the way that he carries things out. I would say he does everything by the book. And it's quite nice to have that combination of me creatively showing him my developed work as to whether he likes it. I think he does, but also as well I kindly asked him when I forwarded some images of my work, he did write me a statement, and I think and I hope he was quite impressed with my developments in such a short space of time with the knitting machine.